Hey man, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So before we get into all the business stuff, I just want you to introduce yourself and then tell me your story as well, how you get into this space.
Sure. So my name's Paris. I'm the CEO of PN Digital. We're a digital marketing agency based in the UK and Dubai. We've been around for about 8 years.
Yep.
And as we were talking, that's quite a long time for the agency space.
It is really long.
I've seen a lot of agencies in that time sort of come and go. But yeah, we've been around 8 years. We work with clients across a number of industries, from real estate, e-commerce, SaaS, fintech, etc. And the core services we offer are essentially SEO, ads, and AI.
Okay.
So the whole business is about essentially powerful marketing strategies to help businesses generate more income for their own business and help them to grow online.
Okay, got it. So, but before you even started the business, what were you doing? Like, what made you want to start the business in the first place?
Yeah, it's a good question. So my background was actually in investment banking.
Okay.
So totally different to running an agency.
They make a lot of money, don't they?
Yeah, it's a good industry. Don't get me wrong, but I'd done it for a few years, and I think it was kind of like that point where it was like that rat race, you know, that I say 9 to 5, but the hours were longer.
Yeah.
I kind of got to a point where I was like, it doesn't matter how much I excel in this industry, I'm most likely always going to be working for somebody, and I'm always going to have to, you know, ask for time off. I was living in the UK, so I don't know if you know, but generally, like, the number of holidays you get in the UK is like 25, 30 days a year. That's like standard.
Yeah.
And I was having these conversations with myself, like, I don't want to live my life like that. Like, I don't want to be in a position where I'm only getting, you know, 25 to 30 days of holiday a year, because I like to travel, right? I like to experience the world. I mean, I'm very much settled in Dubai now because I've been to many other countries, but, you know, this is my favorite place for many reasons, which we can go into.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was kind of looking at ways while I was, you know, I was trading foreign exchange. I was kind of looking at ways that I could, I guess, escape the rat race, which kind of led me to the online world. And I was kind of researching, you know, how to make money online and kind of what probably about 1 billion other people do, right, when they're, you know, working for somebody. And then I kind of got more to a mindset of, I believe there's an opportunity to help businesses, and how can I help businesses in a way that I don't necessarily need to, you know, position myself as the expert, but I can have people that are experts assist those businesses, which then kind of got me onto looking at, you know, digital marketing, SEO in particular. I saw SEO as, you know, this was 8 years ago, as, wow, this looks like a fantastic service. You know, you're essentially helping companies to, you know, get their business more visible on Google.
Yeah.
A lot of people are typing on Google for this particular service or product. And there's a service which you can position that business to, you know, to line up with their customers, essentially putting them in front of their target audience. Very different to, say, billboard advertising, where, you know, great, you can get a lot of a reach from it, but it's, you know, it's untargeted. People may see it, they may not be interested. Whereas for me, I was like, wow, this is like somebody's typing in, you know, contract lawyer in London, and we can get them, you know, to be right in front of their target audience. So that kind of really, it kind of really made me feel that, look, there's a big opportunity. I started to learn more about it, and then it was kind of old school from there. I essentially left my job. I was like, look, I'm going to give this a go. What's the worst that's gonna, you know, what's the worst that can happen? I left my job and I started cold calling businesses, explaining how we can help them and service them and bring.
Did you leave
customers.
your job before you even started making money?
Yeah, I did.
Business?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that's kind of contrary to what a lot of people would say, because, you know, if somebody was to ask me my advice now, what would you do? I'd say, well, there's two options. You can work for somebody and essentially try and make a certain amount of income to prove the concept of what you're doing, and then leave your job and pursue it. But for me, I think I'm one of those people, like, I want to be all in. I don't want to be in the situation. Sorry.
That's fine.
Turn that shit off. That's my wife. I need to get this. So yeah, I kind of wanted to be in the situation where I lost my train of thought. What was I saying there?
You were saying all in?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I wanted to be all in. So I kind of left left my job to kind of be like, look, I'm going to be all in. I've had some like friends, family, etc., ask for my advice along the way, and I think what a lot of people find, especially when it comes to them starting a business or leaving a company, is they feel like, how can I make $1 million? How can I make a lot of money like really quickly? And I feel that really for a lot of people, especially people that want to start businesses, is what they really need to look at is what do they really need to live on? What is that? And for a lot of people, it's not a great deal, right? Especially in the UK, the average salary is like 30k a year or something like that. For a lot of people, if they can even just you find a business that can make them a couple of grand a month or whatever, that's usually enough to give them that motivation. But I think what kind of puts a lot of people off is they feel they need to make a lot of money very quickly, in which case their job is very secure. Like, no, it's very secure. They can't leave that because, they're earning money doing that. And if they were to have a business, how are they going to make so much money very quickly? Whereas I think that's just a kind of a mindset thing. You don't really need to do that. You can just cut back a few expenses, look at what you need to live, and then prove the concept. But kind of going back to me, I went all in. So I left my job, started cold calling businesses, explaining the service, got some interest, and then was like, shit, I can't actually do this myself. But there's business there to be won. So, how can I now get somebody as an expert to fulfill that? Which then led me to kind of sourcing out teams, etc. This was like in the early
middleman
days.
kind of thing.
Exactly, middleman. And in the early days, I was like outsourcing things abroad. So I was, charging very little. It was costing me very little. It was okay, but there was a lot of issues with then like client management, customers wanting to like speak to the account manager, which I couldn't do because obviously they were based abroad. And then over the years, I think at that point I probably got to about 25-30k a month in revenue a month, and at that point I was like, okay, I need to kind of restructure what I'm doing and make this more I guess like an internal team, more UK based, because there was a lot of issues with like the delivery and everything. So then I actually started to hire people, good people, because I could, afford to invest back in the business to essentially, these are all like UK based staff now. So I was like, I'm going to hire top tier talent. I'm going to charge, a good amount that we need to service these clients. Then I slowly started to build out the team, hire staff from there. Now we've got like a team of 15 in London. All of the guys like top tier talent. We get our clients, very, very good results. We've taken, startups to multi-million-dollar companies. We've taken, million-dollar companies to multi-million-dollar companies. So what we do now is very refined, is very tight, and we're very good at kind of articulating ourselves to clients to really go through the strategy that they need. We're not just, hey, we can rank you on Google. It's kind of like, okay, where are the gaps in your business? Where can we see the biggest opportunities for growth, and how do we get you there? Whether that's through SEO, whether that's through ads, whether that's through AI, whether it's a multi-channel approach. We kind of look at all the areas that they're lacking in and all the areas that they're strong in, and then we put together a strategy to kind of really help to explode their growth. And that's since doing that, it's really kind of scaled the agency a lot further. I mean, within this, I've joined like masterminds, mentors, etc., that have kind of helped me to, help with the mindset side of things, help with like the structure side of things, and we've now kind of positioned ourselves as a very well-known agency. We work with clients worldwide. We kind of do a few $100,000 a month in revenue each month. So we've kind of do a few million a year in revenue, and it's kind of grown kind of to the point where I didn't think it would grow, but it's kind of essentially been relatively slow growth in one way. So you don't kind of realize the success until you really look back and think, wow, okay, this is kind of from being one man band, hiring teams abroad, to having a team of 15 and servicing clients worldwide. It's been a big change, big shift, but very, very positive. Very thankful.
That's really good, man. Like multiple millions in revenue a year, especially now as well. Like you've been around for a long time. That's really cool. When you started SEO back in 2018, did you think you were late?
To be honest, no, I didn't have much knowledge at that point, and my mindset was more about helping businesses to grow online. And I think that just took over the fact that whether I'm early or late, it doesn't matter. But the industry has changed a lot, right? And even, back before I started, there was a lot of companies or marketers that were doing what's called like black hat SEO, which was kind of almost kind of manipulating Google's algorithm, if you will. A lot of companies or marketers got away with that until they didn't, and that kind of changed the way that Google wanted SEO to be done.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between ads and SEO. Anybody can run ads, right? You could appear tomorrow and spend money with Google and you could be on sponsored ads. But with SEO, and we run ads, so I've got nothing against it. But with SEO, you kind of really earn trust. And I feel that, a lot of even just customers that are not marketers are a lot more savvy now. And they also kind of know that, I speak to a lot of people that are like, they don't even use ads because they just switch them off or they don't trust it. So I think SEO, the good thing about that is it earns trust. It earns trust with Google, but it also earns trust with your customers, that if you're a business and you're, ranking for certain keywords that are popping up on Google organically, customers, it kind of gives you the right to be like, I've been around a little bit of time, I'm not just a new business that's popped up that's investing in ads and trying to get your money. It's like, I've been here, I've kind of earned my spot here. And I think that adds a lot of weight to customers when they see that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even till now, I'm always on Google search, like the first page. Like I don't rarely go beyond the
It's
first
very
page,
rare, yeah.
Right. So, but the thing is, now, how do you get clients then for your business? Because I'm sure SEO has changed, right? Or do you run ads, or do you just rely on search rankings for your business?
We've got a few different channels, right?
Yeah.
And I think that any business should have multiple channels of lead generation, not just agencies, but it could be real estate, whatever it might be. So, I mean, we rank at the top of Google for a lot of keywords for our own website, so that brings in business. We get referrals from other agencies. We white label for several agencies as well that are not able to fulfill SEO or are not able to fulfill it as well as we do.
Yeah.
So they may have tried it before, but they either can't get the right staff for it, or they're just not very good at it. And it could be an ads agency that is then referring the clients to us, so that works quite well. We've got a good partnership with a few agencies in the UK and the US. We run kind of email marketing using AI, which works very well. We've got some good email copy, which it essentially is basically it's email copy which asks the business or mentions to the business that it'll label the business name, it'll label the keyword that they're ranking for, and it will label several other keywords that their competitors are ranking for, and then kind of ask them if it's worth a quick call to kind of get them ahead of their competition. But it's all done through like AI software, which is quite cool, because when a business sees like, oh, I can see that your competitor X, Y, and Z is ranking for this particular keyword, which could bring you a lot of business. Would it be worth a chat? It's kind of like, oh, okay, this is quite, I want to kind of beat the competition. So yeah, AI is changing the game for sure. We're kind of using it a lot more in our agency, and I'm seeing it kind of a lot more with clients. I do find that a lot of businesses now, they want to use AI, but they just don't know how. They want to use AI, I want to do AI, but it's like, well, how do you want to implement it within your organization? I don't know. I just want to have AI because it's just such a hot topic, right?
Yeah. So your AI stuff is mainly implemented in your business, right?
And for clients.
And
so
for clients
in
too,
terms of like the way we're implementing AI, it's actually because, the way of search is evolving, right? So Google still owns the, lion's share of the market, like 89%. But there's a large number of people, which is growing every day, that are using the likes of, ChatGPT, Grok, and the other AI agent engines. And we've seen our clients get incredible results from us ranking them on the AI engines. The conversion rates are a lot higher because the type of keywords that people are looking at are far more intent based. So people don't use the AI search engines like they use Google. It's quite different. With Google, it's very much intent based, but quite short tail intent based. Very direct what they're looking for. For AI, it's very much a like sentence or a few sentences. And we now know how we can rank businesses on these AI engines
Oh, wow.
to
Okay.
obviously give them an extra piece of the pie, and also target a separate audience, like a younger audience, if you will. There's a lot of, say, Gen Z using ChatGPT,
Yeah.
etc., Grok, more than they're using Google. As I said, Google's still like the lion's share of the market, and they've got their own AI engine, but these other tools just give businesses an extra piece of the pie, and it's going to become more competitive. So what we're seeing now is that the ones that are advertising and taking advantage of that are doing very well from it.
Okay, so there's a way to rank yourself on the AI engines as well.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have just assumed ChatGPT pulls it from Google. Or like.
No, it's not. That's what a lot of people think, but it's not. But there's a way, just like, excuse me, there's a way just like how we rank businesses organically on Google. There's separate work that needs to be done, and they kind of work hand in hand together, but there's separate what needs to be done to rank that particular business for search terms and longer tail search terms on all the other AI engines. For example, I went on holiday recently, and my whole holiday was booked via ChatGPT. I didn't even use Google for the search. Why? Because I have a family, so I'm going on to ChatGPT, for example. I'm asking it, can you find me kid-friendly hotels in this particular area that have good, nanny facilities, good facilities for kids, and good amenities, etc. nearby. Now, I wouldn't have typed something like that into Google. I would have just gone onto Expedia and just, looked to myself, but this saved me a lot of time. And then it was able to pull up travel agents, based on that, which then led me to book via another travel agent that I wouldn't have usually booked with, just because I'm like, okay, it's pulled up all the relevant information. And that's the same with what we do on the AI engines.
On AI engines as well.
Similar to whether it's e-commerce or SaaS, find me a software app that can do my accounts for me a lot better than the traditional ones out there. If we're working with that particular client, we can get them to show on ChatGPT and other AI engines, where then they'll kind of get the customer from that. So it's essentially another lead engine. We're doing it for e-commerce companies in Dubai at the moment, some other companies, and it's working incredibly well because the conversion rates are so high, because the searches are so targeted, right? They're so tailored. So there's a lot less competition.
Yeah. Because next week I'm going to the US.
Nice.
And all my traveling and my itinerary is done by ChatGPT.
Wow.
So all the suggestions,
just goes to show,
all the suggestions, like which places to, all from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see that being, and I'm a younger guy. So like you said, it makes more sense because I use ChatGPT more than Google. Maybe 50-50.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Same. I'm kind of
Google
the same.
is still very big, right?
Yeah, and if you're looking for something, I think more like where you kind of know what you're looking for, intent-wise, like real intent, I would still use Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the time.
If I'm unsure about something, then it's probably I'm going to ChatGPT, right?
Exactly. Or if you feel like you need more information and you can't be bothered to go from one site to another site to another site on Google, you can just get it pulled up on ChatGPT.
And I can just put like this hotel versus this hotel versus this hotel, and ChatGPT gives you a graph immediately, like a chart.
Yeah.
Right. So those kind of things makes it very easy for me to get information. But when it comes to for paid ads for your clients, right? Do you? Okay, so if I'm a business owner and I came to you and I said, hey man, we have problems with traffic. Okay, we have this service or this offer that we have, and I come to you and say, bro, we need traffic. What would be your first suggestion for them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would essentially, or our team, we would look at where they're currently getting their traffic from. So are there any, a lot of businesses, for example, can have a foundation level of SEO, but they're not getting any business from it because they'll rank for a few keywords on page 2, page 3, but, just because they might have been around a while, but they're not able to capitalize on it. So let's just say we're firstly analyzing the SEO side of things. There could be no opportunities in which I'd say that's not going to be a good form of traffic yet. We can build on that later. Or they could have some, what we call low-hanging fruits. They're ranking for several keywords that they don't know about, page 2, page 3. And we're like, look, you've basically got money on the table that's sitting here that you can't grab right now. we can help you to grab this very quickly because it's there for the taking. You just need to
Yeah.
kind of reach it and grab it. So from that point of view, we would look at initially an SEO campaign because we know we can get results and movement very quickly. They're on page 2, 3. We can push them to page 1, top of page 1 relatively quickly. It can start bringing them in more traffic.
Yeah.
Paid ads, initially we would look at kind of what's called the cost per click. So with paid ads, as you know, like every time somebody clicks
Yeah.
on the ad, they're being charged X
Yep.
amount by Google, and the cost per clicks vary
Yeah,
in
it depends on the
industries.
keyword, on the industry. and all
Exactly.
that stuff,
If you're like a personal injury lawyer,
Yeah.
you're paying like hundreds of dollars for a click,
Yeah.
right? It's crazy. Whereas other industries are going to pay far less. But let's just say on average you're paying $5-6 a click. So we would kind of look at what a client is worth to that customer, what they can afford to pay per lead or
Yeah.
pay customer, and then kind of work backwards from there and say, look, we would recommend a portion of your budget in ads for this reason, a portion of your budget
Yeah.
in SEO, and a smaller portion of your budget in AI to start getting those low-hanging fruits as well. So initially it kind of starts with a business analysis,
Yeah.
looking at where they are, looking at their lifetime value or average order value of their customer, where they want to get to, what revenue they're doing now, where they want to get to in terms of their target revenue within the next 6 to 12 months. And then we can kind of give them a predictable idea of what we need to do and how we can get them there.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing about online marketing. It's very targeted, especially the way we do it, very targeted, very data driven. ROI can be tracked. So you can put this in front of a customer and say, look, this is what you need to do to get where you want to do. I don't know about you though, but it's funny because in Dubai, I found that like a lot of the online marketing side is quite behind in one way. Or I wouldn't say behind, but I would say a lot of businesses in Dubai, they very much rely on word of mouth and networking as a form of opportunities and generating business, which is great, and it does work here. But from the businesses that I've spoken to, very few are investing in online marketing, and if they are, they're not doing it correctly. So the kind of clients that we work with in Dubai, we've been able to get them phenomenal growth because we're able to kind of cut through the competition very quickly because there's not many people doing it right. And the ones that are doing it right are getting very, very good results. And that's a good thing about Dubai. It's a small market, but it's a wealthy market as well. And you can get a lot of reach when you're running, ads or SEO or whatnot. You can get a lot of reach to a very targeted audience, which I feel a lot of businesses aren't taking advantage of because they either don't know how to do it correctly or they still feel like they need to rely on networking and word of mouth, which you should, and it's a great way, but you're also kind of missing another piece of the puzzle, which would work very well for your business if you were doing it right.
Interesting. Because in Dubai, my network, they're all online marketers.
Are they?
So all their marketing is online, like social media. Obviously, networking is part of Dubai as well. But that's interesting. So it depends who you meet as well.
I think it varies by industries, etc. as well.
It varies by industries.
There's a lot of online marketers here for sure.
A lot.
But I think certain industries that, certain real estate and others, they're not doing marketing.
100%.
They
That
should.
one I can agree with. Yeah.
And it's just a massive opportunity for them. Or they'll, they hire kind of a junior that will be part of their company to push out some posts on social media.
Yeah,
and
the shitty
think,
posts.
They think they're doing marketing, and it's like you're missing a trick here. I feel like there's a bit of educating that when I speak to customers to be like, we can really turn this around for you. And I think certain businesses that I've come across here or certain industries are backward in terms of online, but the ones that are doing it are just doing so well from it because the market is small but so productive, so lucrative here.
Have you ever had a client where traffic generation was an issue, but when they have traffic and the traffic's not converting or something like that, do you ever look at their website and like, bro, you need to fix your copy on your website or what you're offering? Has there ever been a case of that?
Yeah, it's so common. It's more common than you can imagine. To be honest, probably every other client, it's there's kind of two parts. One is getting the right traffic to the site, and the other part is converting that traffic. And on one hand, that conversion can be done by a human. If for example, they get a phone call or whatever it might be. On another hand, that conversion can be done online, which is through certain, call to actions on the website, certain discounts you can put, certain consultations you can put. And it's amazing that the kind of clients we work with, and, they'll offer some sort of, say, free consultation of their services, and it doesn't even say that on the website. And implementing small things like this can be just, when those small changes add up throughout the website, it makes such a big difference.
100%.
People are usually driven by three factors on a website, which is price. So any way you can offer something free, like a free consultation or a discounted price, or, starting from whatever it might be, that's always going to get people's attention, right? Like that's kind of the first thing, is kind of price. What am I going to pay for this, or can I get something for free here, or get some more information? The second is efficiency. So whether it's e-com or whether it's lead gen, by efficiency I mean how quickly can somebody get this service. So on a website, if you see a free consultation, that's great. If you see get a quote today, for example, or free consultation today, or same day delivery, all of these things, these are again going to help that website to convert. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to give that free quote today, but what it does, it gets somebody to inquire, to be like, hey, can I have a quote? And if you're booked up that day, you can't get the quote, we'll get back to you in 24 hours or not. But what it does, it's just, there's people that are busy, they're living busy lives, they're on the phone, get a quote today, I want it, they're getting the details. They don't really care if they get the quote today or tomorrow. They probably want something quick, but it gives them that reason to convert. So, when you compare the price, the efficiency, when you've got these factors on the website, it's going to help to convert. And then the third thing is the trust. And by trust, it's essentially your credibility, right? So customer reviews, let's say for e-commerce or particular products, proof. If you're a construction company, for example, are you regulated by the relevant bodies? Do you have that on the website where people can see this is a, trustworthy company I'm dealing with? Any type of testimonials. But, like what we've talked about now, when you've got a website that doesn't have any of those things and it's getting good traffic through, it's like, okay, that's good. But then when you add all of those things in, you can just see how that would make a customer be like, I want to get in touch. And when you start getting more and more traffic through, those small increases in your conversion rate, make a big difference. We work with some clients that have millions of visitors a month, right? So, when you're getting increases of 1% on conversion rate, these things add up to be, big money.
Yeah, of course. Because I get a lot of people inquiring me about paid ads, right? Because that's what we do, Facebook ads and stuff like that. But then they say, I get all this traffic, but I don't get any sales. Can you fix the ad for me? I was like, but
it's not the
your
ad.
Website's shit, bro.
Yeah,
right?
It's not the ad.
It's not the ad.
It's like having a shit salesman, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I always try to fix their website first, or their funnel, or whatever it is. And then we work on the ad. A lot of people don't realize, they always think traffic. Obviously, traffic's really important in the business, because without it, you're not going to make any money. But a lot of people think that's the only solution, right? It's more eyeballs.
It's a fine line. It's like having leads going to, just like I said, a shit salesman, and them like, I need more leads, and it's like, you've had loads of leads, you've just not converted any. Like that's the issue, right? Well, why haven't you converted any? They refine the sales process, or you get a better salesperson in, and all of a sudden those leads start converting. It's like, actually, it wasn't a leads issue, was it? It was a conversion issue. But
exactly,
again, these things go hand in hand.
You know what? I was also surprised is when AI came out, like ChatGPT, and then I thought every business owner was using it. But then it was only within my circle that's kind of using it. When I got out there, I talked to other people in other businesses. They rarely even use it, to be honest. And then they rarely implement AI in their business at all, right? Have you found that to be the case?
I think that's really interesting what you mentioned, because I think in our world, we're a little bit ahead of the game, or kind of a lot ahead of the game when it comes to things like this, because we always need to adapt and use these particular tools like AI in terms of how we can get our clients better results, how we can make our business more efficient, how we can make our clients' business more efficient, more productive, more profitable. And so when you're kind of speaking a lot to your own circle, or you're keeping up to date with things that are happening in your own circle, it feels like everybody
Yeah.
knows these things, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that, they can do this, this, and this with AI. But you're absolutely right. I found the exact same thing. As marketers, we feel that a lot of people are using these tools every day, making their business more efficient. But a lot of them, especially in the early days, it was kind of like, what is ChatGPT? How do I use it? And then like now for some people you speak to, they might just be using it to rewrite an email of some sort, but not really implementing AI in their organization or within their ads or within their SEO to basically make their business more productive.
Yeah.
So I think when you're kind of in a circle where you're talking about certain things, it feels like everybody else also knows that, but there's a lot of businesses that are not using it, don't know how to use it, know what it is, ChatGPT, they've heard of it, or let's implement AI in our organization, they've heard of it, but they just, again, they don't know how to, they don't know why they need to. And I don't think, there's a lot of talk AI replacing jobs, and I get it, it will replace a lot of jobs, but it will replace more people that aren't using AI, as opposed to that particular job. And if you're able to use AI in a way that assists you with what you're doing, it's not going to take over your job. I think it's going to take over more people's jobs that are just not using it.
I agree.
And that's I think where that like discrepancy lies between, AI is going to take over like jobs as opposed to, well, it's going to take over some jobs, but also if you're using AI to assist with what you're doing, you're just going to be better at your job and more productive at what you're doing.
So in my world, like kind of copywriting, I was talking to my friend and he was saying that, AI is going to replace copywriters and stuff. But I told him, like, not really. The copywriters now that are available and are working for clients, they need to leverage AI. If not, they will get replaced, because they'll get replaced with someone who is a copywriter plus uses AI, right? So you need to be a copywriter plus an AI, because when you have AI with you, your output is so much faster. You're more productive. You can do more work for the same client for the same amount of money, just because you know how to use AI. That's basically what I was trying to explain to him. Whereas if you don't use AI, your production level will always be the same, right? But if you use AI, it can double while providing more value for the business or the client at the same kind of cost. And for yourself, you do less work. You get, so like exactly what you just said. If you know how to leverage AI, you won't be replaced.
And that's exactly the difference, right? You're using AI there as a prime example of you're using it not only to assist your business, but also your client's business. You're using it as a win-win.
Exactly.
So there's no reason for the client to leave you. They're getting more content. They're getting essentially a level up in terms of the copywriting. You're able to produce more. You're able to essentially get paid more, and it's a win-win on both ends.
Exactly.
We had clients, when AI came out, they were like, "Oh, hey, can we push a load of AI content and we can get loads of X, Y, and Z written on ChatGPT?" And we were like, "Look, no, because we know that when anything like this comes out, that essentially can manipulate a little bit Google, if you will, if that's what you want to say, then there's also gonna be a reason for Google to pick up on these things and start to look at sites that are just doing this and essentially de-rank them." We had a couple of clients that were like, "Look, I totally understand, but I just want to try this." We had clients that developed new sites and we were like, "I can tell you now, whatever you do, you're going to see short-term gains, and it's going to essentially just de-rank the site." And that's exactly what happened. They were pushing out loads of AI content, short-term gains. Google picked up on it, and then it basically just de-ranked the site.
Because it's AI content.
Because it's AI content, right? And of course, Google's got its own AI checkers. So it's like, Google's just checking for our content. The whole point of, Google wanting trustworthy businesses to show, say, organically, is through providing value to customers and, providing content that really resonates with that particular target audience. And when you've just got people shoving out loads of AI content, it doesn't work well. But if you've got somebody that can work with that content to make it better through using AI, but still understanding what the goal is, then, you know, I mean, you can pass all the AI checkers and it's
for sure.
it's not an issue.
Outside of like business, how do you think AI will affect us as a whole?
I think it already is affecting us. We just haven't really seen it implemented in a way that is so day to day where it's affected our lives. You know, I think it will be just as common as mobile phones that we have now in years down the line. It's going to be everywhere, and the speed of which AI is evolving is, you know, I guess the technological advancements we've had in the last 30 years, like in our lifetime, for example, they're more than we've probably ever had in history, which shows the development of not only technology but AI. Now, AI is going to make that exponential, right? Because you know, we've come at an age where there's a lot of technological advancements. You're then adding AI into that. So I think it's going to explode in a way where we're going to be getting used to a lot more things that are regular with our lives day to day that is having AI included. But I think right now you're only seeing the changes in certain industries, and they're not as visible to us, besides almost what's going on a little bit online with AI engines and whatnot. But I think that whole AI world is gonna be so integrated within our daily lives in the next few years. It will be very common, and we'll just be living with it as part of our daily lives, just like we're used to having a mobile phone now. Right, like it's a common part of our lives. Serious bit of technology. It can do pretty much everything you want on it, but we're just used to having it, and we're just used to using it in the way that we use it. And I think that's going to be the same with AI.
Do you feel like there's a scary aspect of AI that you are worried about?
With any like big opportunity, there's a big threat. You know, it's natural, right? You know, it's like you've got this. It's on two hands. I guess if it's in the wrong hands, it's not good. If it's in the right hands, it's great, and it's probably going to be used in both ways, right? It's going to be in the wrong hands, and it's going to be in the right hands. I think the world will be more productive with AI, and I hope we see it in a way that is good for everyone. In terms of like our industry, and I can speak for that, I see it as a massive opportunity.
100%,
So
I agree with
I
that.
don't see it as a threat as such. I see it as a great opportunity as a way of businesses being more productive and being more profitable, and services that we can offer to assist businesses with these things. But as a whole, it's really difficult to say, man. What are your thoughts?
Yes, because so when it comes to productivity, making money, I think AI is a great help, right? But when I see some things like AI is getting too realistic, I'm like, that's a little bit scary to me, especially when VO3 came out. And VO3 is just the beginning. But what happens 3 years down? We can't even tell. Like now you can kind of, like when you saw VO3 for the first time, you're like, okay, that's very realistic. But there are certain aspects of it you can still tell it's AI. But if it gets to a point where you can't tell anymore, I feel like I don't like that at all. Because when then you start, people might start faking, other people's like pictures and deepfakes and stuff like that, or like mimicking you saying something you didn't, right? Also, when it comes to movies, then they said AI would take over the filmmaking industry at a certain point, where it'll just make their own movies. And then I'm afraid of human creativity going away. That's what I'm mainly afraid of. But at the same time, like you said, there's so much benefits to it. I'm sure I could find an opportunity to make a lot of money with it. But at the same time, like you said, it comes both ways. Right?
I think, look, you made a good point in a sense that when you're in a situation where you don't know what's real, like you can't tell, it's without the risk of sounding anything like Andrew Tate, but it's like kind of the Matrix side of things. Like if I'm showing you something and you can't tell if it's real or not, or you're seeing something, and seeing is believing, you're seeing something with your own eyes in front of you, but you're questioning
Yeah.
whether that is real. Like, what world are we living in then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, full transparency, you and me are here today. This is not AI.
Yeah, exactly.
But it could be, right? Like, this could easily be an AI conversation, you know, that we've programmed in, that's been, you know, you and me chatting back and forth, and it would be as real as this. And, you know, when you don't know if something is real or not, I think that's when it's, it can be a bit scary. But yeah, at the moment, like you say, images, certain videos, you can tell that they've got that AI aspect to them. But you know, it's like when, you know, the PlayStation came out or something, it was like, wow, this is amazing, this is great, like, look at what you can do on this thing. But you look at, you know, the PlayStations we have now compared to the PlayStation 1, it was like, that's rubbish. Look at that compared to what I've got now. And that's almost like AI now. You know, we'll be looking back on things that we're doing now with AI and being like, look how old school that is. Like, look at what you can do now with it. But we kind of, you know, don't know what that is at the moment.
So you were from UK, right?
Correct, yeah. Born and raised in the UK.
London? Just outside of London?
Just outside London, yeah.
And then you moved to Dubai 1.5 years ago, right?
About a year and a half ago.
Why did you make the move?
Several reasons. Had a baby, so safety, Dubai is like, you know,
not top.
Just can't be compared. The kind of security that you have, the peace of mind that you have in Dubai, knowing that you can wear whatever you want, knowing that you can be wherever you want and not have to kind of, you know, think that somebody's going to take something from you or whatnot. It's I think that we should all be able to live like this wherever we are in the world, but unfortunately we can't. Yeah. And so that becomes a very big selling point for Dubai. Just the growth that the UAE is experiencing is phenomenal. I think their vision is like no other country. They are growing year on year. You see the amount of developments that are going on. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. I feel that there's a very positive energy in Dubai. Everybody you meet, networking opportunities, everybody's very positive. They're very, you know, a lot of people, you know, everybody's got a history behind them. But when you kind of come to a place where the majority of people have moved to, there's a reason they've moved here. And it's usually a positive one, which I feel you can kind of feel that in the air.
People want you to win. I can feel that in Dubai, you know?
And
whereas I guess someone in UK is very different. Right? The mindset.
It is, and I think there's a very, you know, the kind of cultures are different. UK is kind of, you know, known to have quite a complaining culture. Also, things are quite far away in the UK. So just the connections that you can have in Dubai, the people that you can meet, the type of energy the place has, the vision it's got. I can't see another place ticking so many boxes like Dubai. And then you compare that with, you know, good weather. You know, you got the city life here, you got the beach life here. You got the convenience side of things here. You know, if you want something, I mean, to give you an example, when we travelled, our hairdryer broke right on the morning that we were travelling. So come out of the shower, like turn the hairdryer on, I was like, oh shit! I was like, hairdryer broke. I was like, my hair's wet. We've got a flight to catch. Anyway, my missus gets on Kareem, you know, that app on Dubai, searches hairdryer like within 20 minutes or something. I've got a new hairdryer, dried my hair and everything. Fantastic. I was like, that would, like, in the UK, there's just no way that I wouldn't have been able to style my hair. I would have had to dry it with a towel, wear a hat, probably get ill the next day. Do you know what I mean? But like here, you've just it's just so that convenience.
It's built for
like,
convenience.
Get it on Kareem. Okay, we've got a hair dry. You know, we could, especially for my missus, like, you know, long hair and everything. It was, you know, would have been a nightmare for her. But that level of convenience is second to none here. So I think it would be very, very difficult to move somewhere that has so many benefits like Dubai does. And I just feel that everybody is so everybody goes through ups and downs in life. That's normal. But I feel as a place to live, everybody is so happy to be here, and I really like that. And also the news that you kind of see here, it's, you know, in the UK, the news you see is like
Tommy Robinson,
99% negative, right? It's this has happened, there's this. Whereas here, the news that you see is, you know, it's very much like, this area of Dubai is growing, the population of Dubai is growing, more and more people are visiting Dubai, they're doing this project, they've got a vision to do this, and it just feels good to be seeing that, like, wow, yeah, we're part of something that is quite incredible, know, and it feels like a good place to be and a good place to be a part of, because I just think the vision that they have here is
there something you miss about the UK though?
Obviously families, families,
yeah.
etc. I mean, I say this to my missus all the time, that if we were, families, for example, in Dubai, probably wouldn't have a reason to go back to the UK. Friends, friends there, etc. as well. I'm sure there's certain things that are more efficient in one way in the UK. Nowhere is perfect, but the fact that I can't think of any right now just shows that we're in the right place, right?
Is it as unsafe as what the media shows?
I haven't, touch wood and thank God, I haven't experienced that side of things. But I guess because the media shows it, and because of the data that you see, it's in your mind, and because of that, it makes you a little bit feel like you need to act in a certain way, not wear certain things. Because of that, I haven't personally experienced it, thank God, but there are a lot of people that have. So I think there is definitely an aspect of it being unsafe, or at least hold on to your bag tight. Be careful of what you're wearing. And I just don't think it should be like that. Making sure you lock your door and everything, which I know is a normal thing, but not in a kind of stressful way. Like here, you just lock your door because you lock your door. It's just or sometimes you don't lock your door. But
back home, would you like let your wife walk around at night? Would that be something safe to do?
But no, it wouldn't be safe to do. No, it wouldn't. There would be like a certain time where it would be like, look, don't be.
I'm guessing it's also unsafe for a guy to walk around alone.
There's probably is. Because you're going to come across more people, but as the evening kind of gets on, people start to, I guess, act a bit differently. But no, I think you'd be worried about your wife, and she would be, be worried herself, not wanting to come back.
And in Dubai,
that's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Nothing's going to happen.
Just don't even think about it, do you? And I think that's the beauty of it. But there's just so much more to this place than the safety as well. There's a huge amount of other benefits that I think you can have from living here. Safety is just one of them, right?
Of course. I always tell people the most dangerous thing about Dubai is the traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing.
They're like, that's the most dangerous thing.
Yeah.
So, man, it's a lot of traffic there.
Okay, man, I'm going to ask you a bunch of rapid fire questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you're going to tell me it's either this or that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's one answer or the other. You don't have to explain your answer. Okay, so I'm going to choose between two options. All right? Smart and broke, or stupid and rich?
I think stupid and rich.
Same. Work 4 hours a day, making 100K a year, or 80 hours a week, making $1 million?
I mean, it's about financial freedom, and you can live comfortably on the 100K. So I would say the 4 hours. Yeah.
80 hours would be more investment banking hours.
Yeah, 8 hours, and you'd make money, but you wouldn't have any time to do anything you enjoy. And what's the point?
If I told you that you could get $15 million right now, but you instantly turn 60 years old, would you take it?
No. Yeah. Time is everything, isn't it? Time and health.
Oh, this is a tricky one.
Would you?
No, definitely not. Yeah. I guess if I was 50, I would take
You're 59.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, why not?
Be respected but broke, or rich but hated?
Rich but hated.
Okay. Okay, this one you already answered. Dubai or UK?
Yeah, easy. Imagine I say UK.
Yeah.
What?
SEO or paid ads?
Oh, it's industry dependent, but I'll go SEO.
SEO. Money or love?
For this one, I'd go love. Yeah, I guess I'm a
I would too.
hopeless romantic, to be honest. So yeah.
Have unlimited motivation or unlimited discipline?
Oh, they go hand in hand, don't they? These are good questions. I'd go motivation.
Motivation.
Yeah. What would you choose?
Discipline.
Really interesting. Yeah. They're very similar though, aren't they? Because to be very motivated, you have to be disciplined as well. So
yeah, I guess it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people out there who are motivated, but they don't have discipline. So,
but do you think if you're disciplined, you're also motivated?
You don't necessarily need to be, right? So discipline comes, like, for me, it's more like doing something even though you don't want to do it. So you work because you just have to, right? You work on the business because you have to, not because you watch some video of Dwayne Johnson hyping you up. You get what I mean? That's what I think of when I think of motivation.
The way I see it is more like, I know these are like one-word questions, but they're good ones. Is if you're so motivated, you will do anything to make it work, whatever that is, right? So if you look at something simple like going to the gym, yeah, you've got to be disciplined. But if you're like motivated, you're like, I want to get this particular physique, like, because you're so motivated, you're gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
Whereas discipline could be like, look, I'm gonna fold my clothes and put them neatly away because I'm disciplined, or I'm going to do this particular thing because I'm disciplined. But I feel that like motivation is drive, isn't it? When you've got that fire in you and that drive in you, you'll do whatever it takes to make something happen. I guess that's the way that I see it. So that's why I swing towards motivation.
Lens. Yeah. It's, I guess, if that, to your point, is more of the why you're doing something, right? Like, what motivates me when I started was my family, like helping my mom and stuff like that. So
awesome.
that was the motivation in a sense, right? But yeah, I guess you could say it goes hand in hand. Yeah. Have 1 million Instagram followers or 1 million in your bank?
I'm really not fussed about clout and that sort of stuff, so I'd go with an extra million in the bank.
Be known as the best or be paid the most?
Be known as the best. Yeah.
Be known as the best.
I mean, I said, previously that clout, but I think being known as the best would be more of a personal thing, to know that whatever you're doing, you've like achieved the maximum from it, and you were the best at what you do. If that becomes being known from it, then, great. But yeah, to be the absolute best at something, I think that would be like a personal, personally very satisfying, right?
It is very satisfying, yeah. If you had one advice to a young entrepreneur that wants to start his business, what would it be?
I would say my advice to a young entrepreneur starting his or her business would be, don't be afraid to take risks. Understand that sometimes things will not work in the way that you expect them to, but it will lead you to another opportunity, and be resilient. Things are not going to go the way that you plan. No business has. Whatever vision you have from starting, it's probably going to take another direction. But understand why you're doing something, and don't give up on it.
Yeah. Okay. Good, man. So where can people find you? And
so find our website is pndigital.co.uk. So it's Papa November digital.co.uk. And yeah, any businesses out there that are looking for help to grow online and scale their revenue, feel free to get in touch with us. Or you can hit us up on Instagram or Facebook, but our website would be the best way.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Nice one, Dan.